Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm actually answering some pretty interesting questions you guys asked, such as what's next for the Rolex GMT Master, update-wise, and does my negotiation style change when it comes to different customers? All that and more in today's episode. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Breguet Marine, the previous generation Big Date. I think an all-time classic and one of my favorite watches in my collection. And also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. A bunch of new watches in stock, including this Rolex Explorer 2 white dial, box, papers, and the least expensive in the country, at least that's this new date-wise. An Omega Seamaster white dial, the hottest one to get in the Seamaster range, just under the green, and also the least expensive in the country, and a very rare Ming anniversary mosaic dial. All that and way more at delraywatch.com, the best place for a watch geek to buy a watch. Link in the description below. Anyway, guys, these are the questions you asked on my Instagram account. You know the spiel. A couple times a month, picture goes up. When I get enough questions, picture goes down. Don't DM me, yada, yada, yada. But in no particular order, we start with bweaves17. Hey, Fed, does your negotiation style change depending on your client? If it's a repeat client, their knowledge base, age, occupation, etc., etc. Well, this is a great question. And the answer is generally no, but obviously there's a couple of exceptions. If it's a customer I know very well, repeat customer, spent a lot of money with us, or we have some kind of relationship, then, the negotiation style doesn't necessarily change. Like, they're not going to get a better price or anything. But I usually have a little bit more leeway in explaining things out, spending a little bit more time doing it. But things like knowledge, occupation, age, they don't generally come into the equation at all because we don't actually negotiate. When you're selling us a watch, 99% of the time, we either accept the offer or we just say, thank you, we're too far off on price. It's not like I say a number, you say a number, we meet in the middle. I don't meet in the middle. There's no time to meet in the middle. It's inefficient and it's a bullshit way to do business. This is the number, take it or leave it. If you can do better, I totally get it. I respect it. Go for it. But, we get so many offers that basically I don't want to waste time and I don't want to play a game. So, if someone emails me or I talk on the phone, I say a number that I am willing to do, and that is it. Doesn't matter where they work, how old they are, or if they're a superstar, or it doesn't matter at all. Make the deal onto the next one. Make that deal onto the next one. None of this back and forth bullshit, excuse me. So when you speak to me, what I tell you is what I'm willing to do. There's no room to squeeze out pretty much anything else, and that it doesn't matter kind of who you are. And I think it's an efficient way to do business. But obviously, for like some very special clients, I might take more time. Explain to them the the customer service is the same, but I might spend a little more time trying to kind of make it happen or please them, but the number certainly still does not change. DW Bar 92. Hey Fed, Chrono 24 seems to have an inordinate amount of watch listings for certain pieces. I see 7 Tiffany Nollises listed, and that seems unlikely considering we've only seen a couple go to auction. What do you make of listings like this? Is much of the Chrono 24 listing catalog dealer fluff to influence price? I think you got part of it right, but part of it wrong. I think a lot of it is dealer fluff, but it's not to influence price. What you're seeing is something called ghost listings. And just to make it easy, whenever you go on Chrono 24 and there's a listing with one picture, usually a stock picture, no different angles of the watch, the listing is one literal picture, it's generally a ghost listing. Now, what is the ghost listing? It means the dealer doesn't actually have that watch in stock. He knows where the watch is. It's probably at another dealer, and he's marked it up to where he can still make money. So if somebody buys that ghost listing, one of two things happens. Either the dealer then takes your money and buys the watch for you with a markup and sends it to you, but the problem is the dealer's never actually seen the watch, so he's misrepresenting it most likely. Or if the dealer can't get the watch, he just refunds you the money. A lot of dealers do this because some people don't know any better. They buy these ghost listings, and it's a great way for a dealer to make a profit without actually having the inventory. Now, I think ghost listing is bullshit. Delray Watch doesn't ghost list. Delray Watch doesn't do 5% consignment schemes, which, by the way, are also bullshit because a lot of fees are more than 5%. You guys know what dealer I'm talking about. But, if I don't have the watch in my possession, then generally I don't sell it. Unless you're a very good customer of mine and you say, hey, Fed, can you find me this watch? And I don't find watches for people unless you're an extremely good customer and we're making a pretty sizable profit to pay for the time of finding the watch. Then I will find the watch for you and obviously will tell you that the watch is not in my possession. I'll explain everything. But generally, I very much dislike dealers that don't have possession of their inventory. And I'll go a step further, even though we've done consignment before and we still do it on certain pieces. Even consignment, like if more than like 10% or 15% of a dealer's inventory is consignment, then they have no scratch in the game. There's no like risk. So I just don't trust it. But yes, what you're seeing is ghost listings, the same watch with a stock picture posted by multiple dealers. And, when the watch sells, hopefully they can get it for you. And if it doesn't, well, you'll be getting a refund. CBNR75. Hey, Fed, great channel. Thank you. Do watch dealers really make any money? This question is a little strange to me. I can't speak for other watch dealers because I don't know how much they make. But yeah, watch dealers can make good money. They can make a lot of money. I mean, I do pretty well for myself. Certainly better than any job I've had in the past, and I know other watch dealers that do very well for themselves, but also be aware of the smoke and mirrors. A lot of people on social media represent themselves in a way that's not actually true. So I think, yes, the smart watch dealers can make money, and a lot of it, especially if they're smart with their inventory, smart with their capital, and they don't over-leverage. Mike Melig. How's the Miami watch scene versus, say, the New York City watch scene or the European watch scene? Mike, great question. Miami is a pretty different animal when it comes to the watch scene. It's actually not my favorite watch scene. Here, you don't really see anything interesting, or at least what I consider interesting. You see a lot of Richard Mille, see a lot of Rolex, a lot of Hublot, some Royal Oak Offshores, but that's about it. I never run into anybody with a cool vintage watch or anybody with an interesting Journe or something independent or, something quirky that a lot of watch geeks like. Now, I get it. If you like Richard Mille, AP, and that stuff, I totally get it. I respect it. Miami's great for you. But that's all you really see in Miami. Never run into a guy wearing a Patek 5070. But you will run into a guy wearing a Richard Mille Rafael Nadal or a Hublot Big Bang in rose gold. Miami, being a douchey city, has a douchey watch scene, and it is what it is. It makes for kind of interesting people watching, but, after I've lived here for so long, the watch scene, not so interesting. New York, you run into everything. I mean, I've seen people with Patek Gondolo 8-day tourbillons, to just a simple Longines, to small independents like Ming, to FP Journe Chronometre Sauvran's, to Newman Daytonas. It's a lot more diverse in New York. And in Europe is, I think, the place I see the most vintage on the wrist. Horology MD. Hey Fed, regarding Rolex's 3 most popular sports models, the Submariner and the Daytona, have had some not-so-subtle changes in their case. Do you expect something similar to happen to the GMT Master? I'm not a fan of the new changes. All right, Horology MD, I do expect the change. I think it's a pretty easy thing to predict, even though, please note, it is a prediction. I could be wrong. I think the changes you see in the Submariner are the changes you're going to see in the GMT Master. They've always pretty much shared a very similar case. They're just going to mirror each other pretty much, same precious metal options, stuff like that, just with the different bezel and the GMT Master movement. At least historically, that's how it was done, and I think that's how it's going to keep going, or at least that's the only indication of what I have that could possibly happen, because it's happened in the past. So unfortunately, if you don't like the new sub, I don't think you're going to like an updated GMT Master. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.